And we're back. I don't know how long it's been. I think it's been maybe like 6-7 weeks since I made a video. I would explain explain like where I've been and stuff, but I don't actually have an audience who actually cares about where I've been, but I'm going to say it anyways, purely for the fact it's from my own recollection. So last 6-7 weeks, mostly been school, work, spring break. That was fun. A lot of stupid decisions were made. Yeah. I figured that I'd take this time now and stuff to kind of explain like who I am, like my experience and all that, because there hasn't really been any formal introduction on like, oh, hi, I'm Nicholas Lacursi, nice to meet you. No, so basically, yeah, my name is Nicholas Lacursi. I'm 16 years old, born and raised here in California. That's kind of just like the basic info. So as far as business goes and like the experience I've had in that, I've spent a lot of time just learning the trade myself, which I've grown to love, whether it be on the side of like real estate to e-commerce to cryptocurrency, which I had a lot of fun with until it went upside down. That was kind of interesting to watch. And so I kind of like trailed with my dad and like learning just like the different trades of business. One of the things that he does commercial glass and glazing, so I've slowly begun to learn the trade with that. And there's not a lot of things that you can be like spread like across all platforms of business and stuff, except the general respect that you learn for other people's trades and the way like business is conducted, where it's professional and there's a certain manner in which you go about doing things. And although it's not obviously like expected in every like sort of like business, the one thing that I have realized is it kind of helps me with like my job and stuff is, I work as a game attendant. It's basically here at a carnival that's local here in California. And it's given me like quite a bit of like knowledge and like know-how, not only to do my job, but also to how to like treat people, especially people that are above me. And that's basically what it's been like, focusing on that. But as far as like when it went into like the e-commerce stuff, that was different because the trade that I had been learning in wasn't really focused about like over the internet and stuff. It's a lot of like over the phone or email, which I'm still on the internet, but it's still a lot of like formal like communication. Like over the internet, it's a little bit more relaxed, it's a little bit more like focused on like, all right, what needs to get done. There's no games to be played per se. And so on the e-commerce side of it, there was a lot I had to learn. So there was the big focus of, okay, all the things that are on here are really risky, and I need to figure out what I can take as far as a risk and how much am I actually like going to gain from it for the risk that I'm putting up. So one of the big focuses I took a look at was in Amazon. So basically you have your initial cost for your product, then you have shipping, then you have like the storage, unless you decide to store it yourself, and then your shipping cost is one of the big things that I had to take a look at, obviously, because let's say I'm selling a product for $10, it costs me like $5. Okay, so I have a $5 discrepancy where I need to make sure that I can ship everything out underneath that cost so I can at least make some profit. This was something that I had to learn really early on, and it was strange in the beginning purely for the fact that I was working with sunglasses, and obviously that's already a tough market because it's oversaturated not only by big companies but also on Amazon. Anyone can make sunglasses, but I was trying to do more on like the luxury high-end version of it. And even in that market, it was still oversaturated. But by learning like how I can like run my numbers and what I can get as far as a cost, it gave me appreciation for not obviously all the people that do it themselves, but the big focus on like what I can do in my own time. Because all the stuff I had to do was sending emails out and calling people, and it was a weird focus on like you have responsibility for what you're doing and no one else. There isn't anyone else to pass off blame. This is, either you like uphold your end of the deal or you don't, and you suffer the ramifications. So for me, that was one of the big things that I didn't actually think about until getting into it. So at this point, I was starting maybe like 12, 13, like when I actually started getting into like trying to make money online. And it went well for about a year or two, and then obviously school came up and I kind of became lazy. As this video not being posted for like 6-7 weeks, so that kind of gives you a little bit of insight to how lazy I can actually get. But I realized that when I was like upholding not necessarily these contracts, but these like agreements that I had with people where it's like, all right, I promise to get you your product by this time, or you promise me that you're going to get me the shipping cost. It was a big focus because all of it was, on me. And at that point, I'm still 12, 13, learning the trade first off, but also taking on all the responsibility of it as well. It kind of helped me like mature in that situation in the sense that I actually knew like what I was doing to an extent because I was still learning it. But it was really interesting just to focus on that. And there were a couple of people that were with me and stuff that, kind of helped me guide the way, whether it be like my parents or just like friends who were trying to do the same thing I was. And that's one of the big things that I actually realized is when you're doing something like this, especially if you're trying to learn it, you can't do it all yourself. You have to have, somebody there to kind of show you the ropes a little bit, or at least some guidelines, or even as simple as saying, like, that's a stupid deal, don't take it. It's better to have somebody there, because if you're running the entire time by yourself and you have like no insight from anybody, you're going to end up obviously facing all the mistakes that everyone else has made, but you're also going to make even more mistakes because you're using your head and you obviously have your own personal biases, so you don't really know how far like to push it. And that was a focus on me also, is with business deals, I didn't want to push too hard and then scare the manufacturer away. Like, hey, where's my product? Hey, where's my product? Hey, where's my product? There has to be like a kind of like a finite line that you can somewhat learn at some point. And obviously I kind of learned that from my own experience and stuff, and I ended up like learning after the fact like the definite answer for it when I started talking with people. And one of the big things is also the people you surround yourself with will help you so much in the connections that you'll make, because if you're just trying to go in it by yourself and you don't know anybody, you don't know anything, you're going to have to strong arm everybody for every connection, every dime, every penny that you make. But if you have the connections and stuff, it's kind of the your foot in the door type of deal, where almost in all professions and businesses, you got to know a couple people. And for me, that was one of the big things, is like slowly learning it. And then I've obviously been getting back into it a little bit more recently, but kind of getting ideas from, like, for instance, my business teacher. It's been like really interesting obviously to hear what he has to say and then the experiences he's had. So it's like there's that, and then there's also the idea of just business in general and the way it's conducted. As far as like the responsibilities go, I've obviously already covered that, but it's a lot of the things of like the games that have to be played within like business, because not everybody is as straightforward as they say they are. So as far as like playing the games, like, all right, you're not going to pay me for the product I just provided to you and stuff. All right, let's see what I can do to make sure that either you pay me my money or I'm going to make your life hell. It kind of sucks that that's what it takes, especially in California when nobody wants to pay anything. Everyone just wants their product, but for free or for cheap or however they want it. It kind of sucks that it's not as straightforward, but the thing is, money is money, and one way or another I am going to get it. And like that kind of mentality is one of the big things that I also had to learn. And so I'd like to go into like some of these topics like in videos that I will actually be producing in the next like couple weeks, is like kind of like going in one by one on like the ideas of business and like the mindset of it, whether it be like the sacrifices that you have to make, or the just like the general challenges and the responsibilities, and even like some of this like the other stuff of like just like the expenses and finances of it, because some people don't realize how expensive it is to actually get into the stuff, and then the risk and like profit association that you have to have, where like, oh, if I'm risking X amount, like let's say I'm putting up my life insurance, what is the profit I'm going to take out of it? Is it worth me risking my life insurance and not having anything in return, or even be at a negative or deficit? Is one of the big things. Like, I'd like to dive into that more. Obviously, if you guys are interested in that, let me know in the comments. And I'd like to get into it, because a lot of people don't have the appreciation, or at least the understanding of what all it takes. And yeah, that's kind of, I guess, my plan for the next like couple weeks. Obviously, I have some like school stuff going on. 16, high school, yay! You could tell how excited I am in that. And I also have some work stuff, but the big thing is I obviously want to get back into doing YouTube and just like kind of having fun with it. Even if it's more laid back videos like this, where it's not as structured and it's kind of more off like the top of my head and just rolling with the ideas, and I'd like to do that and stuff and just kind of have fun with it. And if you guys are interested in that, that's cool. Let me know what I should talk about, or if I should even like focus just specifically on business, or if I should throw into some other topics as well, whether it be like the podcasting that I had posted a video about, or just anything in general. I'm cool to rock with whatever. So let me know, guys, and thanks for watching. Thanks for checking in on the video, especially since I haven't been here in like 6-7 weeks. And yeah, thanks. That's it, guys. Have a good day.